Simil,
Yo, dog.
are we too harsh on China?
Yeah. Well, at least that's what a lot of people say.
Yeah. Well, we're going to discuss it because we have to clear the air and let people know exactly what's going on here.
Yeah.
Let's hit the road.
And if my mind worked backwards just for a minute, I'd hold on to you before the memory's gone. I remember you lift my
So,
spirit.
up ahead in the distance, we're going to have to...
From a distance.
That's on like the Enya compilation, that's like a bonus track.
Is it? I think that's
No,
like
I know it's something else, but
it's some Christian woman, right? Like, what was her name? Anne Frank or some shit?
I don't know. I bet it was popular in the 80s. I remember it.
Amy.
It wasn't Anne Frank, that's for sure.
Amy, I don't remember. Amy Grant. Amy Grant.
Good, because Anne Frank wrote some diary about Nazis or some shit.
Yeah, I screwed up there. I apologize. Rest in peace. Anyway.
Anyways, yeah.
So every time we're in these hot desert towns, I'm going to say, look at that snow on that mountain.
Yeah, I know. Let's get down to brass tacks. We've been very critical of China lately.
Mm-hmm.
And a lot of people paint us as being anti-China.
Yeah, I'm going to give the two theories of that.
Yeah. And basically, we are being harsh on China. We are pointing out China's shortcomings. And we've got to talk about why we're doing it. Because it's not because we want to do it. It's because we have to do it. You know? So why don't you start out?
So there's two schools of thought. Of course, you have our supporters that completely understand and they don't question this. But I see two common schools of thought with people that think we are being too harsh.
Yeah.
Number one is they think that we're scorned. We come off as scorned people that have a need for revenge, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
Are you trying to race me?
No.
I win.
Yeah, well, I wasn't trying. We've got to
just
turn
joking.
right at this Washington Street.
We're
This,
gonna get arrested.
yeah, not this one. The next
Anyway,
one. Yeah.
So
not this, yeah.
they think that we are scorned. They think that we need to basically make China look bad because they hurt us in some way.
Yeah, because China hurt us, yeah, like a scorned, jilted lover or something.
Correct. And then there's the second school of thought, which is that we found a way to profit off of bashing China because that is a very profitable industry.
Yeah, we make China look bad for money. Yeah, because
so we're going to go and debunk both of those.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, let's start out with the whole scorn thing.
Mm-hmm.
Why is it, by the way, that you started to, just like me, point out the more negative sides of China than the things that are kind of crappy and really need to be changed?
Through experience. If I really wanted to bash China, because people have this habit of not being able to separate the government from the people, which is very racist and immoral to me.
Yeah, absolutely.
The CCP is not Chinese people, right?
No.
So the thing is, when you live in China long enough, you start to see that this facade, actually I'd say it came with a realization of face. You can understand the concept of face by reading like a Wikipedia article, but when you see it in practice, you realize how much it poisons society to the point where most Chinese people would actually agree with you.
Yeah, for sure. Face is a
Especially-
bad thing.
Yeah, people like in our wives' generations, they don't like face. They think it's a horrific piece of their culture.
That's what happened with this Wuhan virus. It's due to face that they actually kept it under wraps. You know, it's a bad thing.
So, long story short, when you realize how face is put into practice when it comes to building materials, your contract with your employer, when you have to suck up to evil people that do bad things, when you have to witness crime and then pretend like it doesn't exist, or when you get in trouble for something and you have to take the fall for someone when it's not actually your fault because that's how China works. And then you realize that the entire political structure of China is based on face and all of its fallacies, right? So again, you can't read Wikipedia to understand this like mystical face culture. You can't read Confucius and try to figure this out. You actually have to live through it, and when you do live through it, you get affected by it.
Yeah, you do.
What are you doing?
He asked me to give it a rev.
Oh, nice.
Yeah.
Anyway, so when you understand how it works, it's not about being scorned. Why are we not up front?
I don't know.
How far do we go on here?
3 miles, and then we're going to turn right.
Yeah. It's not about
Onto
being
Varna.
scorned.
Yeah.
If you wanted to actually bash China, you could say Chinese people are short. Chinese people have bad breath. Chinese people are incredibly selfish. Chinese people are terrible cooks because they use just oil and fry shit food. All of these things are not true, but if somebody were to say that thing, that would be bashing Chinese people, right?
Absolutely.
Now, when you live in China and you realize that you're an individual from the US in my case, you grow up thinking that your voice matters, whether it does or not. You grow up thinking that your voice matters, and then you're surrounded by a bunch of people that also hate the face culture, the CCP, the way things work, but they don't do anything about it, they don't say anything about it, right? So it kind of makes you, it puts you in this harsh position where either you assimilate and keep your mouth shut, or you speak out and you represent a lot of people that actually appreciate what you're saying. And I think that realization happened was when I started to make videos more critical of the Chinese government. I got a lot of support from actual Chinese people, and it made almost a moral responsibility to call out things that could potentially change if people would talk about it.
Yeah, that's a good point.
Does that make sense?
Yeah, I mean, for me, it was just, I stopped being selfish.
Yeah, that's it.
I mean, look, everybody has to be selfish to a certain degree, especially when it comes to your lifestyle. You can't put yourself in danger by talking about these sensitive topics in China, because if you do talk about sensitive topics, it's not like an if, it's a when. You will get detained by the police. You will have a talking to. You will either be forced to stop, or they will start to threaten your family to stop, or they will deport you or something. So, you know, if you start to become critical of the Chinese government at all, it's not like America where you can say, I hate Hillary or I hate Trump. You can't go out and say I hate Xi Jinping. They will not accept that. It's not acceptable. Yeah, you're not allowed to post any bad like caricatures of him, or it's not like the Western world, right? So I mean, if you go ahead and you say anything, you're liable to have your lifestyle ended. You're going to upset your entire life, and especially when you have a lot invested in China, like you're married there and you have your work there and you have your apartment and you're used to living there and you've lived there for, like in my case, 14 and a half years. You can be selfish, and being selfish means
just keep your head down.
Keep your head down. Don't talk about the sensitive stuff. Only talk about the positive things. Oh, look at how amazing and convenient China is.
It's profitable.
Yeah, look at the food, how great the food is. The people are so amazing. You know, there's so much culture in China, blah, 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 blah. You know, it just blows sunshine up the ass of like the Chinese nationalists and the CCP. And you know what? You get a free ride. You do. You get a free ride. You get a lot of support. People will love you because they love it when foreigners have a positive opinion of China. And you have an easy free ride. So it's an easy step. And there are a lot of people that do this, where they basically only praise China and they don't ever point out the bad stuff. Because,
look at Bart Baker and stuff, you know?
Yeah, exactly. I mean, look, there's tons of YouTubers that do it, and they've got business interests there, so I mean, that's understandable. Or, you know, they kind of didn't make it very well back in their own country, and finally they're in a position where they've gained respect, and they have a lot of people who are interested in what they have to say, and you know what I mean? So they...
Yeah, Ferrari.
Nice. So it's one of those situations where to be positive about China is looking after your own interests, because you can live a very convenient lifestyle there.
The irony is that they can throw the book at you and change their opinion about you for a rap song in your video.
Yes.
You could be the most pro-China person. If you do one thing wrong, even if it's not your fault, you're done.
Yeah, you're still going to be the enemy, and that's something I found out because when I started to just criticize a few things, now it wasn't for my benefit. I'm not saying like, ooh, I don't like this because it like upsets me.
Right.
It's because it's stuff that was affecting my family, my Chinese family, my Chinese friends, and most Chinese people. Like some very inconvenient things, like the fact that there's like non-stop construction noise in the middle of the night just across the road, and you know the babies are waking up. Yeah, I did something about it, and then I get all this.
People.
I did, and I get a lot of crap from the Chinese nationalists. Oh, if you don't like it, then just go home. You know?
No, I help you.
Yeah, exactly. So I just reached a point where I was like, you know what? I'm no longer going to be selfish about this. I'm not going to just keep my head down and avoid all these topics. This is bullshit, because I'm in the whole China game long term here. I've married a Chinese woman. I have Chinese family. I want things to improve. You know, I'm not going to sit by.
It's still our home, dude.
Yeah, I do not want to sit by and allow the children to get poisoned by faulty vaccines and, you know, food scandals and people getting away with this crap. And no one criticizes this. By the way, we're gonna have to turn right soon, but watch out, there's a car coming.
Okay.
And it's not that soon, it's in 1 mile. Anyway, so I worry about the people I really care about. You know, like I get invested in a lot of people's lives there and their families, and I get to know their kids, and I get to know, you know, and so I want the best. I want what's best for them, and they are not my enemy.
No.
Let's put it that way. I am not jilted. I want China to change for the better, and the only way that I know to change anything is to talk about it.
Right.
Because if you ignore it, it's not going to go away.
No, but that's the Chinese way.
Yeah. You know, like I have this analogy. If you live in a neighborhood, right, and there's a pothole on your road, if you just ignore it every day, and it's growing bigger and bigger, right? Get in the right lane, by the way. So this pothole is getting bigger.
Sure.
Then what happens is nobody talks about it, and it just keeps growing, growing. It's there, it's staring everyone in the face, but no one says anything about it.
Right.
It's not going to change.
No.
Right?
It'll get bigger.
But if you start talking to people and you say, look, there's this massive pothole out there, we got to do something about it, we have to fix this, you know, one or two things is going to happen. Either you're going to annoy people enough that they're like, okay, you're right, fine, let's do it, let's all go get our shovels. And
are we turning here?
Not right here, go over the bridge.
Okay, go ahead, get your shovels.
Yeah, gonna get our shovels, and you know what, let's fix this together.
Right.
Sorry, just get past this mess.
Yeah, this is annoying.
Just gonna creep up here. Gonna creep, yeah. So it's...
I don't want no scrubs.
Yeah, yeah, they're hollering at you and stuff. Yeah, we got to turn right, pretty much.
We're going east, right?
It's a bit weird. No, we're actually going to go west.
What?
Yeah, we're going west.
Look at that desert.
So yeah, you get all your shovels. Everyone's like, this guy won't shut up about this. Let's all just fix it so he can shut the hell up, right?
Right.
So you got that option. Or you make enough of a stink about it that everyone writes a letter to the local government and they get that fixed. So that's my whole reasoning behind talking about these things. Like child kidnapping, for fuck's sake. It's a serious problem, something that's affected both of us.
Massive.
You know, your daughter was playing in the park where kids were being kidnapped, you know?
Yeah.
I stopped the kidnapping gang on the Shenzhen subway. You know, I'm very much against children being taken advantage of like that.
I think everyone is too, but you have to talk about it.
Yeah, but like I'm there on the train, on the subway, and it's very obvious what's happening, and no one says a thing.
No one does
and
anything.
It's just they get away with it. So what, the damn foreigner has to be the one who grabs her and takes her off and gets the security guards and the police involved, and then they do something about it. So I've seen from my own personal experience that me stepping in and not being silent about these issues and doing something makes a positive change.
Unfortunately, and this is exactly what I wanted to say, was that because of the face culture, you have to make the Chinese government lose face to actually make stuff happen, because that's the only way they'll do it.
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
Absolutely.
Unfortunately, that's the case.
We have to turn right here. Yeah. Yeah, it's a weird little janky road we got to do here. It's strange.
Okay.
So turning traffic must yield to pedestrians. Okay, we're good.
We're good?
Yeah. Anyway, so that's why I started to talk about these things, because damn it, I don't care. These people can say I hate China all they want.
Right.
They could tell me that I'm, you know, the enemy of China and I'm black in China or whatever, but it's not. I'm talking about these things because I want them to change. I talk about these disgusting things because they are bloody disgusting and they have to stop. You know, spitting in public, snotting in public, it's massive. It just happens, and I'm tired of it, you know? So that kind of stuff has to end. So that's why I started doing it, is I just stopped being selfish, and I stopped considering my own personal comfort and started to think about how I could actually make a change. You know, and having lived there for so long, that's the thing. A lot of people don't seem to understand. The way I lived in China, the way he lived in China too, was to do proper immersion. Not living in little expat bubbles in rich areas.
That's what makes us different.
Yeah. Traveled the whole place, learned the language, you know, married into the culture, got to know a hell of a lot about the way things work there, and experience it. We've traveled over the entire of China on our motorcycles and stuff. It's not like, we just sat in one in Beijing and we made an opinion, you know? Anyway, so that was the first thing. What was the second thing?
Well, this one's very easy to debunk. For profit.
Right, for profit.
There's no profit in what we do.
No.
I'm not joking. Like, it's much, much, much more profitable to be very pro-China. You could be a celebrity overnight, you'll get big money, and you're safe.
Get sponsorships, you'll get I mean, it was like that for me in the beginning. I didn't make any money out of it, but I got a lot of fame, and I was on TV a lot and in the newspapers a lot because I used to say nice things about China. And you know what? Those nice things I said about China, I still stand by them. Those nice things are things I really like about China.
Just
so, you know,
we weren't allowed to point out some of the real feelings we had.
Yeah, absolutely. You're not allowed to when you're in China. But yeah, like for instance, this last month, every single one of our videos on all of our channels has been demonetized. Because when you talk about these issues in China, they're usually sensitive topics. And especially if it's about that virus and stuff, you know, that obviously gets demonetized.
All kinds of stuff.
But like anything that's sensitive, first of all, you get the nationalists come running in and flagging your video That's the first thing they do. Have you noticed that when we release a video, within a minute, it already has like 15 downvotes?
Yeah, before they watch it.
Yeah, so yeah, obviously they can't. They're like, they have us on speed dial, and they see, oh look, he's got a video. Everybody go downvote, you know,
Right.
and flag is inappropriate.
They post articles about how to flag our videos.
Yeah. So our videos get flagged as being like inappropriate and racist and stuff or whatever, and so they get demonetized. So obviously it's not about the money, but that's just the way it is, you know?
I think it's natural for a moral human being to want a better future for people you care about. And that's really the easiest way to sum this up, and that's all we want.
Yeah, we want what's best for China. By the way, take down 19 miles, we got to turn somewhere. Shijiao, yeah. So yeah, we don't hate on China. We are pointing out the bad stuff, and I mean, think about it. I've been doing YouTube now, China YouTube, for over 12 years. It's a long time. I've got over 1,000 videos, and you kind of run out of the good. You got to move on to the bad, you know. So I got everything. I got good and I got bad, and I talk about the things I want to change. And I got a lot of criticisms for China, because China does get away with a lot of these bad
And
things.
it's gotten worse.
No one calls them out on this shit.
No.
You know, like the devastation of the environment, and you know, the fact that this virus is
They
now
get
a problem.
praise.
Yeah, I mean, it just sucks.
They've created this image that they think that they're always getting bullied and everyone's anti-China, like all media. I see the opposite.
Absolutely, everybody praises them too much.
Yeah.
You know, and doesn't hold them to task. Anyway, I guess that's about it. Anything you want to tell our subscribers before we sign off here?
I think you know our intentions, but I hope this clears it up for the few of you that, you know, have these schools of thought.
Yeah.
You know, why we do what we do. We're being 100% honest, as we always have. We've
Yeah.
never bullshitted you. We're 100% honest, and we take a lot of shit for that.
Yeah.
But I hope you guys appreciate what we do, because we really appreciate you, and we'll see you next time.
Yeah, and you know, whether or not you really believe that we're evil and out to demonize China or not, I mean, we love you all the same, believe it or not, because even the haters, the nationalist haters, and those really
Apologists.
moronic apologists, you know, those absolute morons, you know, we don't blame you. We actually want what's best for you. Yeah, the foreigners, we want what's best for you. We want China to get better, you know,
Yeah.
and to integrate properly into the world. We kind of want this to be a big, happy kind of a situation. Anyway, so until next time, you know the drill. As always, stay awesome. ADV China every Monday, same time, same place. Wednesdays, Lao 86, 1 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And of course, on Friday, just in time for a beer, Serpent ZA.